Today I'm going to talk about homeless people. You know, those people who are ratty clothing, they are smelly, filthy. Sometimes you see them on the street corners or in the ditches. They're carrying carts. They're going through trash barrels and dumpsters, looking for food to eat or anything that may be of some substance to calm the hunger pains in their bellies. You know, the kind of people who can get really nasty. I've talked about them in a few of my videos, mainly to reference people who are covered in sin. But today I feel like the Lord's just led me to talk in another language about them. And I may have mentioned it in another video before, but some of these people, probably like 10% of these people, are probably better off in the soul than what we ever will be. Probably. That's because what they have to face every day is trials and tragedies. Well, they bring that on themselves. Yeah, you know what else really hurts people too? Mental illness. And that affects everybody. And guess what contributes to mental illness? Pride, envy, sloth, jealousy, gossip. Perhaps some of these people have been raped and sexually abused by their father or mother, or some sort of family member that probably had it done to them too, and their parents and their grandparents. Probably somebody did them wrong or screwed them out of something, and it just took a hold of their minds. You know, kind of like what happens to us when somebody wrongs us, and we're like, well, I ain't dealing with them people no more. See, while we're stuck in our nice, warm, and cool houses, protected from the rain, from the tornadoes, the hail, the lightning, the thunder, they're outside getting every bit of it. Well, they need to get a job. Probably more than half of them have tried to get a job, but they can't because they're homeless, and some people who give jobs don't give jobs to the homeless. I knew a guy who had that problem. He used to go to my church, but a guy fired him because he found out he was homeless. He had a good job, he was making money, just got him a free phone. He had gotten several of them stolen from him while he was out in the weather, but then his boss found out that the address that he was living at, he wasn't living at it. And the boss fired him. No more money for him. So he had to go back to scrounging the dumpsters for cans. Anything to sell, to make money. Well, you don't know the whole story behind that. Neither do you. No one really does except God. And we don't need to know the whole story. All we need to know is how to help people. We don't even need to know their name, where they come from, whether they got a house, a home, what they need to do. If we really prayed to God and asked Him for wisdom and discernment and understanding, we would know already. Now we're too busy working our jobs, collecting our cash, and not caring about anything else but what we're doing. Now, I'm not saying you have to take $100 or more out of your pocket. I'm not telling you to go out there and buy them piles of food and clothes. I'm not telling you to hire them to do work so you can give them money or everything else. You're not obligated in this world to do anything. And that's actually your God-given right to not be obligated to do anything. Choose this day who you will serve, God or the devil. You don't even have to get up this morning, take a breath, go to work, feed your kids, feed your face. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to take a shower even. But it feels good when you do. And I'm not going to pretend that I know what it's like to be homeless. Because I don't. I've never been homeless in my whole life. I'm not going to make excuses for the homeless, nor am I going to oppose them. I think it was even Jesus who said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." He said that for a reason. That was not a hallucination. That wasn't a blabbering of hallucination from blood loss. He said that to his Father for a reason. He knew their hearts, their minds. He knew that sin was just too great for them. That's why he took it on himself, because we couldn't handle it. Just like there's lots of things that the homeless people can handle that people like me and everyone else can't handle. And vice versa, actually. We have our own lives to live. And I'm not going to make like a gifted horse and say that there are hot spots all over town where you can get free stuff and quality items and things. And there probably is. But I wouldn't know because I'm not homeless. And if there is places around town like that, the homeless have probably already got a hold of them. It's just not enough to please everybody else. See, if it's not our job to please the homeless, then it's not the homeless's job to please us. And if you feel differently about that, then you're the problem. See, we have the same mental illness that the homeless have, the devil. Take no thought about what you will wear, eat, drink, for tomorrow will think about itself. See, too many people got themselves on their mind and not God. Just like the homeless, and just like the homeless, we don't have an excuse either. And I'm not saying the homeless don't do no wrong. They got problems just like we do. And I'm not going to pretend to know all there is about both sides, because I don't. Whatever I do know, it's because He is teaching it to me. There's just so